as well. And we are off, I believe. Okay, close. Let me just... okay. So yes, hello and welcome, I hope. Just need to check in. Oh, wait. I need to do this. Okay, I think we're good. I think we are good with the sound, so let me just put stuff where it is easy to work with, because I am still not properly prepared for a proper stream. Nope, I am not. But we are working on. No, I'm not working on it. Alright, let's start with a new file. Standard A4 should do fine. Alright. So, there we go. We are live on both platforms, I believe. Yep. Alright, let me just... Okay, and we're good. 2 minutes in, and let's get going. So, what are we doing today? Yeah, well, you know, basically, I guess we can do some sketching. Let's warm up first. Yeah, let's do a warm up. With just some line. You know, making sure that we can draw some lines. Oh, yeah. Those straight lines down, that's not easy. It's wobbly. Okay, I think we're getting in the groove. Right, so what will we draw today? That is the big question. Let's see. Well, as usual, I have no idea, so let's just start with some random stuff. Okay, let's work with some inspiration from last week with Artemis. Yeah, let's do that. You know, if you haven't seen it yet, we had a space launch. Some people traveled to the moon and back, in case you haven't heard. It's kind of funny. I'm all here, all about the space news, being very excited about it and being like, hey, if you haven't heard about it, you should have heard about it. And then today I had a colleague who talked to me about some sport event, and they were all like, you haven't heard about this sport? And I'm like, or this person? And I'm like, nope, I have not. Should I? And it makes me wonder, like, you know, yeah, sure, I'm really excited about space and all that kind of stuff, but how interested are people in it? How well known? This is not working. Well, you know, it's a sketch. It's a sketch. I guess I'm not warmed up yet. Yeah, this is not gonna work. Yeah, see, this is not capturing what I want to capture. Let's remove it. I think what I want to do is more this. Yeah. Let's put down there. Okay. Let's see how good we can make this. Basically what I'm thinking about is seeing a video that I saw of people walking on the street to see the launch live. Okay. Let's see if that line goes out there, that goes out there. Yep, that's about it. Well, I don't know how correct this is all. I'm just messing around, really just messing around here. Let's put another tree in there. Maybe here as well. Okay. And then what we need is this. See, yeah, this is not working. This doesn't work, doesn't work. Let's see, how can we make this work? Somewhere along the lines of this, maybe. Yeah, more like that. Okay. So I'm thinking like, oh, wait. Could I do? So what I want is, should I do that? No, maybe just the people on the street. Because that was really interesting to see. People just walking in the middle of the road. very excited to look at it. It's like one of those scenes from a movie where people are so mesmerized about something happening that they forget where they are and just, you know, walk in the middle of the street. Okay, let's see. It could work. That doesn't work. No. Maybe some more people. Because they gotta look up, of course. Something along those lines, I think that'll work. But it feels very heavy on this side now. You know, you got two people here, and then this stone here. It's all happening here, and this is nothing. So we might have to. So we either have to make it center this, or we have to center this. I did like the in the video there were clouds that were blocking everything. I did like that. That was pretty cool. Something along those lines. It's a cool, it's a nice sketch, but it's, don't think this is gonna work. Well, let's give it some color and see where we end up. Let's just try it out. Putting in the clouds, yep. We are really just roughing it out here. Just basic shapes. It feels like it should be darker down here. So let's do this. Guess maybe let's do an overlay. No. Not really. Yeah, well, I think I'll just have to do normal again. Yeah. and then just put in the, wait, why is it, there we are. Of course, we do have to keep in mind that the clouds in the distance are going to be a little bit more grey or monotone, kind of like the trees as well. At the start, at the beginning, when they are close by, they should be a certain color, but the further you go, the more they should become blended with the background. You know, more blue. Now technically you wouldn't be able to see the orange. Yeah, technically that wouldn't be possible. There was a lot of fire, unbelievably a lot. Yeah, we're just messing around mostly. I don't think this is going to be a good sketch. This is just going to be a sketch. It's not going to be a good drawing or anything. This is just messing around. Yeah. Okay, oh no, I need to go here, put in some of that grass, maybe some concrete. Feels like we could probably use different colors. Man, the amount of art that has been made thanks to all that Artemis stuff. It's pretty cool. But I am kind of lazy. So yeah, we're gonna need some brown for this. Okay. And then let us put in the human. You know what? Let's give him that typical worker's outfit. Yeah, maybe something along those lines. Skin. Oh, okay. Hair color. I mean, let's face it, most people have brown hair in the world, brown or black. Which is a sad point. Ooh. Okay, let's do that again. Alright. Well, this is the definition of a sketch. Yeah, sure, let's keep it. I'm not really planning on doing anything with it. Yeah, sure, that would be type E. Alright, next one. Okay, next sketch. What could be something that we can draw? As you can see, I have no inspiration right now. I'm just messing around. Well, I suppose you can get some ideas. Alright, where is this going? Let's see, where is this going? We got some sort of a troll. Well, no, this is going nowhere. Yeah, this is just turning into an egg, apparently. Yeah, don't ask me why, I have no idea. Curious. Why am I turning this into an egg? Probably, I mean, I'm sure there is some sort of a existential idea behind this. Let me know. I don't know. I don't see it. Okay. Let's turn that into bunny ears. But not like, yeah, let's turn that into egg yolk bunny ear. Same with the eyes. Okay. This could be something. Don't know what though. Yeah, don't know what yet. What is this? Do I need the hat? I don't know. Do I need the hat? And if he had a hat, what would it be? I don't know. Yeah, like where is this going? Well, it's definitely going to be a little bit burnt on some sides. I don't know how you are making your eggs, but I sometimes mess them up a little bit. Not too much, you know, but I am way too invested in this concept here. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I should probably be figuring out some puns with eggs, but I can't think of something a little bit more brownish. Honey. Okay. Should it have some spices on it? It's an egg and it's a bunny. Let's see. A bunnegg, a bunnegg, I suppose. Okay. Good. Good. Could you make an egg like that? Can you fry a bunnegg? I don't know, but I like it. It's a nice little sketch. It's a bunnegg. Weird. That is what it is. I am saving this as bunnegg. Yeah. I'll make a compilation of it all and then post that online for sure. Yeah, that was that. Let's try again. What is the next thing? I should probably work on planet Zon. Well, no, I don't need to work on this because I have it all figured out, mostly. I should work on Yukiniverse, Tales of Yukiniverse, and figure out another story. So let's see, what can we make? Tales of Yukiniverse. Too long. Toy. So I guess we should figure out a character or something. Yeah, let's just remove this here and then put a new layer here so we can work multiple sketches. Let's see. Is it working? Yes, it is. Alright. Let's see. So we need a new character. How are we going to start with character design? I guess we can start with simple basic shapes. We can do a square, a triangle, a circle, and I don't know, maybe a star. And then do a blob. Yeah. And then let's just base our character design all on that. Like that. Okay. And then circle. Where does the circle go? That's right. It goes in the square hole. this one here. Like that. And then we're gonna make some character based on that shape. But let us start with the square. We need a character. Well, I don't know. I guess that would be sort of a robot-y thingy. No. Let's do this. It's very stiff. Yeah. Oh no, wait, that is actually perfect. Sort of like ears, I guess. Does this remind you of Jax from the Amazing Digital Circus? Maybe it's the smile, you know, the big teeth. I guess that's the thing. Yeah. No, let's not give him a moustache. Let's just do regular. I think I'm still in practice mode. Anyway, let's do the triangle. Why is it like that? Okay, I think we can do this. Yeah. Sure, and then I'm just using it as a guideline for something. This reminds me of that dude from the Pink Panther. No, the Blob. Okay, here's a lot of volume. Yeah, this is really not working. I'm not getting anywhere. Okay. That's a... Yeah, let's make this an antenna with a headset. Sort of. Some hair, nose. And maybe these are sort of shoulder pads that they use as a thingamajiggy for something. And I guess we're going this way. Huh, okay. Is this kind of Dragon Ball Z kind of vibe? You know, with the giant shoulder pads. I feel like it is. I'm not sure where this is going. I guess it's something. Let's see what we can make with this blob. You know what? I want to do a different blob. Let's shrink this all the way down and do a different one. Gonna put it in the back. And we're gonna do some new blob shape. What do you think? Is this good? Maybe a little bit of that as well. let's see what we can make with this. If we can make some character design in here. What do my elven eyes see? Well, I see a middle finger, that's for sure. But I also see a hand and then something here and a face and then maybe some cross-legged feet. What are they holding? Could be a weapon, but I don't really want to use a weapon. A giant carrot. Yes. Could be a rocket too. Yeah, it could be anything, really. Why would they be holding it? They would be holding it because it is precious. Okay. And why is it precious? Because it holds sentimental value, I guess. And why would the carrot be of value sentimentally? Who knows? Well, let's figure this out. I think we can work with this, but so let's see. A carrot. You know what? Let's bring it back. Okay. Let's merge these two layers. Shrink it down, put it down here as inspiration. And then make a new layer. Alright. So, a carrot should be inspirational. How? How? Let's think about this. Okay. So we have carrot, bunnies. That is a little bit too obvious. Farm. Yeah, it's too obvious. Let's try again. Or maybe this idea is just not working. Let's go all over again. Let's do something different. Let's just make another liney flow on the screen. Yes, those are poop. The buttocks. Yes. This is America's ass. A fine ass. Booty. That was the word. Anyway. More lines. What do I see? The problem is that I have worked the entire day, so my brain is already a little bit foggy, but I do see possibility. Kind of fishy. Huh. Has that sock puppet vibe. What is this? Huh. Weird. That is what that is. But let's keep it. I'll put it at the bottom. Alright. Let's try again. Let's start with a planet. Maybe I could work with the Yamila storyline. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. No, we're not gonna be able to work with that. Yeah, I'm sorry for anybody that is watching. This brain is not primed for this creative work right now. Maybe I should just do a streaming, gaming stream. Yeah, gaming stream. Play some orcs must die. It's one of my favorite games, or at least most played. Let's see, where are we going with this? Let's go with a design of a spaceship. Yeah, that's quite basic. Okay. There is potential. Kinda like a dog nose. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, who doesn't love a good an animal? We all love animals. So if I can make it look like one, why not? Yeah, see, it's like flying super fast. Okay. Didn't I say I was going to design some spacecraft? This doesn't look anything like it. Let's give him a tie. That looks good. Okay. So where does this lead us? We got some weird doggy. Let's put oh no, not this one. That's good. That can go over there. That one can go over here. Alright, no sketch. Give me a shape. Ooh. Let's see. I'm just looking around my room. Okay, where is this going? Oh, Okay. But what is it? Maybe some fancy metal kind of design? Well, we can definitely put this one with the rest of it. Maybe we just need a rock with some floaty rocks next to it, and then some place where it can flow through, kind of like this. I mean, I guess, you know, if you don't know what to draw some floating rocks. And you're bound to get something okay. Oh. Alright, let me just block that person. Bye bye. Did I block him? Oh no, yeah, okay, it did. Can I... wait, how does this work? You know, in Germany they have, for a highway, they call it an autobahn. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to give him an autobahn. There you go. Easy peasy. Advertising on stream. That's not nice. Anyway, ooh, I feel enlightened. Okay, let's go with a bluish. Okay, and then let's go with a, yes, cyan. Over here. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe, sure. No, we first have to do the sky, right, okay. So let's do sky and then, okay. How am I going to do this? That's a little bit too much. Let's do a little bit less. Okay. I think we can have some thing going on here. Yeah. In case you don't know, I do like my floating rocks. I guess it's because it is a simple shape. And because it is a simple shape, it helps with just messing around a little bit. Don't want it to be like underwater, but I don't know. That's alright. Let's put a layer on top of that we are going to use for the rocks. Not that one, not that one, not that one. Oh, well, maybe this one then, okay. Or should I do a selection tool? Does this work? I don't know. We'll go this way for a second. You know what, screw it, I'm just gonna do this. And let's just put in the shapes. And we'll just delete some afterwards. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Don't know really where or how much. Or what perspective that we're working with here. Okay. I want it to be from down watching up. So I guess there would be a sort of a shine on these edges, if that is the case. Same for here. Oh yeah, right. We need to open this up. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's open it up here, like that, but keep some rocks in the middle. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And now we bring in the shading of the light. That shine. Do I need the black outlines? I don't think so, no. I think we're good. Alright. So I am putting in this shade here as it is the light. Kind of reflecting, shining through the cracks in between the rocks. And then later we'll have to maybe add it on some other stuff as well. Or maybe not. Any case, this needs to become darker. Wait, why is that? Okay. Okay. I think I might need some idea of how I want the rocks to be. And where I want other rocks to be. Maybe I should have started with the top layer first and then work my way down. Maybe. Yeah, kinda like this. Where does it work? I don't know. Kinda does. Oh yeah, we're gonna need this. We're gonna need to put some cracks on the sides where there is a little bit more light. Kinda like this. Yeah. Feels a bit off. Yeah, it feels like this is sideways at the bottom and at the top it's really below it, which I guess makes sense in a way. Okay. Let's give this a shot. Yeah, I guess that could work. You know what? I really need to move. And with that I mean get a new place. That or soundproof. This place, I really don't like the noise. Okay, but let's keep that art here. This needs shades like this. Yep. It feels very ice heavy. Yeah, feels like there's a lot of ice. The good ice, you know, not the bad ice. It does actually. Kinda looks cool. I guess I could make some more shapes. Yeah, let's do this. Yep. It doesn't have that floating rock kind of vibe. But I guess that's okay. Okay, but see how I am working right now? We are in the zone. So that's all we needed. We needed just a few bad sketches to then find our groove and get into it. And then once you have that, you can continue. Well, I guess this is an easy one because it's just fluffy lines. And the more we work on it, the better it'll become. Okay, I do feel like this could be a little bit more to the top. Maybe turn it? Sure. Yeah. Let us continue. Oh, a little bit bigger. Yes. We're really going with the dark vibe here. With a lot of shadow. Oh, that is gonna be. Let's do this. And then I'm gonna use the history tool to remove this here. That we can fix it in post. Oh, what the fuck did I do? Okay. Now I did say or plan at the start that this would be a Tales of Universe sketch thing, but it turns out it's gonna be more of a floaty rock kind of thing, which I guess could be part of Tales of Universe. I guess I could make a part in the universe, make a solar system where rocks are very floaty, where maybe the material is very light and not as dense as it is in our solar system. I guess that's an option. Ooh, that was bad. Yeah, kind of like this, I guess. Oh, I know what this needs. This needs those little snowy patches on it. You know, those little. Yeah, that's the thing. That is exactly what this needs. That is really good to bring home the yeah, I don't know what. I do like it. I do like it. And I think what I'm doing now is basically fine-tuning. And this is all based on knowledge, basic knowledge that I have in my mind. I have no reference that I'm using, so yeah. Which is both a good and a bad thing. The good thing, I don't have to look up materials and I can just draw and stay in the flow. The bad news is that yeah, it's not using any reference, so it might be wrong. And there might be better angles to show stuff like on here than the one that I am using. And maybe I don't know about it because I don't do the research. Then again, it is just a sketch. But there isn't a real big need to be perfect. As long as we get the vibe, I believe, then we're good. Does that help if I add a little bit of this? I don't know. Maybe. Let's see if I add a little crack here. Maybe. That could work. Or some added perspective here with shadow work. Okay. Oh, what do you think? Is it good enough? It looks useful. It's a nice inspiration thing. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. Do like it. I don't know what I'm. Yeah, let's remove this and then put some framing. This needs to be center like that. This. Okay. Oh crap, I cropped it. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. These sketches weren't really anything good anyway. I mean, do I really want to keep them? Let's merge that to this. Put them in a separate file. La 1304/2026 desktop. Okay, good. Okay, remove this, remove that, remove that. Now, how can we make this better? I mean, I guess I could jump in and do the details, but I don't know, I got the vibe. And I feel like that's good enough for this. But can we make a story with this? Can we make a story with floating rocks? Where people are investing. Let's say there's a base up here and then there's a giant tunnel lift elevator going down, and then maybe there's some bridges in between these things connecting them. Yeah, giant bridge like that, some bridges here, you know, because it's a city, and maybe there's some buildings up there and some buildings up there, industry, and some elevator stuff, and then city up here. Oh, that actually kind of works. Some more city up here, some more bridges. Yeah, and then there would be buildings up there and up there. don't think we would see this. Yeah. Oh, that was not good. I do like the idea, kinda, where you have a city all around it. Giant buildings. It could be an ice city, but why would they be here? Like, you know, what's the reason that they need a city at a location as dangerous as this? Why would they want that? I feel like this is not correct. Yeah. Huh. Well, tell me, why would they build a place down there? Because of some very important material, I guess. Maybe these rocks are kind of magnetic with some anti-gravity vibe. Oh wait, maybe this could be anti-gravity technology, where you have every spaceship has a floor and then a layer of anti-gravity rocks. Yeah, but how would you explain that in physics? Because I do want my universe to be a little bit realistic and not too fantasy sci-fi. Needs to be explainable. And I don't know. Okay, so you do have material with that becomes very special when it is super cold, superconductor, that's the one. So maybe we can work with that. Have a planet where it is minus 2070 all the time. Well, that would be basically in the dark. There would be no light. Huh. Yeah, it could work. But I do like the idea of a little city on top of it. The perspective point would be here. And whatever we have here would be down here. This is not correct. See, for this, that would be like that. And then here, that would be like that. Let's try that again. Okay. These ones are pretty good. Yeah. Okay. This city line, however, does that work? Is that correct? Does this work? I don't know. really sure. About this perspective. But I guess it could work. Oh, okay. I do like the idea about a city with a floating rock, but the reason why it floats needs to make sense scientifically. And I can't think of anything right now. Unless that is going to be my one fantasy thing. Or maybe we could work differently. And we could just do, let's see, center of the universe, Earth. Well, actually we got center of our solar system, and we are up here. And then this solar arm has a certain type of vibe, and then the other one has a different type of vibe. Or these two have the same vibe going on, and anything in between has a different vibe. I mean, would that make sense scientifically and spacefaringly? Story-wise, perfectly fine. And I guess that could work. Yikes. So, what do you think? Can we get away with that? I guess we can if we keep it consistent. And I guess we would have... Oh yeah, well actually that would make sense. Because... Yes, but what effect would that have? Like if you have an entire solar system where floating rocks have a specific effect, because that means that planets form differently. But I guess it would be because of the material, like all the heavy material has coalesced inside the arms, and then all the lighter material, the more magnetically charged materials, would be floating around in the middle, I guess. And they wouldn't bind, they wouldn't connect. Or maybe they would, but they would be less planet and more cloud of stones, and that would make sense. Is that okay to introduce into a universe? Does it feel like retconning or not? I don't know. Does it feel like retconning to add a completely new system of planetary systems into a universe? I guess. I like the idea, I just don't know if it's a good idea. I'll have to brainstorm that a little bit, think about it, see where that can lead. I mean, that can lead to a lot of great places. Having floating rocks, floating cities, that's a gateway to awesomeness. I mean, let me just bring up some of this stuff I already have. For example, this one. We have a floating rock with a boat on it and birds. That's something that I can do. then we have places like this, you know, where you have giant cities and buildings on top of rocks, you know, all with their own architecture. It opens the gate for that, all inside of a giant cloud of dust. It also opens up for similar like this, ice places with buildings on top of it. Apparently people walking around. I feel like there has to be a completely different type of animals as well. I mean, there's no way you can have normal animals in something like this, you know? And you know what? Honestly, now that I am thinking about it, I have been drawing this shit for ages, for years. And I guess it would make sense to add it to my Yukiniverse, because it has already been a big part of what I have. You know, this is the first one. Great, awesome, I love it. But the wood wouldn't work, right? Don't I have more? I feel like I have more. Let's look at this one. It's not really a floating city. It does have the vibe. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can work with that. I think I'm gonna run this ID with some people, see what they think, and then you know, work with it. I think it could be something. So yeah. But first, let us save this. No. I think I first want to finish it up a little bit more. So the city would have to be that way. Oh wait, I guess, yeah, I guess the buildings would be this way. Okay, yeah. And with the relatively floaty materials, it doesn't really matter. Because they can just make it as light as they want. And there wouldn't be much restraints on it. Yeah. We'll need to add some light effects to it. Yeah, something along those lines. Then we'll put some cities up here. Yeah, same here. I guess the cities are not going over here, but over here, which makes sense from the perspective. Okay. How are these cities? I guess they need some floating ships as well. Yeah, they definitely need some ships. This is too big. That would be like this. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. So remember, small bridge. But we can do multiple bridges. Yeah. And then instead of buildings, we'll just put some docks. Which makes sense, I believe. Let's put the moon sword in here. That's a big ship. But I like it. Alright. Same here. Let's just put some multiple bridges up here. Yeah, of course they would connect those two. Okay. I think we can work with that. Okay. think it'll be fine to put some cityscapes up here. Oh wait. Okay. So who else is going to watch the rest of the cyclotron? I feel it's too big, yeah, compared to this. I don't know about the perspective here. Oh, what is that? Well, we definitely need a bridge. Alright. Again, multiple bridges, some buildings. Same here. Sure. Okay. Okay, yeah, that'll work like that. Okay, I think this is okay. I do believe I need to add in one more effect. And that's this. Wait, first we need to remove that guideline. Okay. No, does need this. That fading on the top, I do believe it needs that to show distance. Really show it. Okay. Look, it's not the best sketch, but I am happy with it. It's a good inspiration. And I'm just gonna save that as well. let's call that floating rocks, floating planets, planetoids. Yeah. I feel like I can use that. Just don't know how yet. I saved it, so we're good to go. Alright. No, I do not want to do that. Okay. I think we're good. So yeah, if you if you stayed and watched, I hope you stuck around a little bit longer than just the beginning, and you were able to see the last part, which was, I guess, the more interesting part, with the concept art and story ID, no world building ID. So yeah, feel free to check it out again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye bye.